So as a peer reviewer, what is one thing that you have found, without naming any souls or anything of that sort, where you were like astonished that this is happening in the practice?
There is a question on his quality of the audit or the procedures that he is in a position to perform, whether he is in a position to demonstrate the aspect of what he has done.
How can I do an audit of another chartered accountant itself? Because it's a very tricky situation to be in.
Absolutely as per the standard. A plus A is equal to 2A. I want only this. I don't want anything else.
Peer review makes more enemies than friends.
No, it actually makes more friends only. That they want the auditors to detect these frauds also, which is, to me, it is not possible.
Hello everyone and welcome to Coffee with CA with me, your host Geena Bharwani. Today we have someone on the show who has been with us throughout. You may be wondering how, but actually if you have attempted a CA final exam or a CA inter exam, you would have surely read his work. He is none other than CA R S Balaji, who has co-authored multiple Padhuka books. So let's get started as we deep dive into his journey and pick his brains about peer review, NAFRA, and multiple ways in which CA students can be benefited from this episode. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show. We are extremely happy to have you over here, sir. And I'm going to dive right in where someone out there currently is preparing for the CA final or CA inter exams. They're reading books that you've authored. How do you feel when every time you think of that thought?
Beautiful, and it gives me a pleasure for me to be here and discuss certain important aspects with you. And thanks for this opportunity. Technically, as you have rightly pointed out, where I have authored certain books and then specifically for a student who is preparing for a CA, which is his life dream, where he is preparing for CA inter or foundation or even for CA final, our only thought is to enable him to become a qualified chartered accountant.
Correct.
With this particular sole objective, rather than anything other than this, where we always put in our complete efforts to ensure that the book is able to speak with him.
Correct.
And then he's able to understand the technical concepts that is required for him to be a complete finance professional.
Correct.
Actually, CA is not just like a course where I come in, I enter, I enroll, and then I clear, I come out. That's not the case. It's not a product that we are making it. It's a transformation from a normal being to a complete finance professional. Correct. Because the moment I become a chartered accountant, the privilege that the community is giving to you is something exorbitant.
Correct.
The level of assurances that are being made onto the chartered accountant signature is considered to be enormous. So even the Honorable Prime Minister have acknowledged this fact that you are entitled to even sign a balance sheets of a company the moment I become a chartered accountant. So to cater, like a mother catering food to the kid, we always have that point in our mind and thoughts, and our complete books that we prepare is absolutely on that particular basis, so that he is in a position to understand the concepts, which is considered to be very, very technical. At the same time, he should be always be in a position to remember and to reproduce the same in the examinations, so that he is comfortable, he is having confidence, he is having that particular conceptual knowledge. Correct. Where the moment we sit into the books, we curate, and then we give the professional technical books, absolutely we will be in that mode, and then we want that to be replicated to the students.
So talking about students, since you mentioned that, and how it feels like a tapas while writing books and all of it for students, let me take you back to your student life, right? You've been a trophy child, right? Complete first in everything. And usually what happens is that after a point of time in school, it kind of drops and stuff.
True.
But that has gone on even in your finals as well, where you have been a trophy person and in your other achievements in life.
True.
What made you that person where you felt like, no, if I've been a trophy person in school, I need to be the same person throughout life?
Very challenging question, where being a first or a trophy person right in the complete academics.
Correct.
I find being a teacher, a faculty who have trained thousands of students in the CA, what I find is when they complete this school where they got very high marks, even at the foundation level, they were in a position to do exceedingly well. But at intermediate level and final level, there could be a possibility of challenges, and they may not be in a position to get through that in their first appearance by itself. The point is CA preparation, especially the professional preparation, requires a little bit of more disciplined approach and more systematic approach rather than a repetitive approach. The challenges, real challenges, there will be lifetime, real-time scenarios will be there in the examination. The subjects that he is going to handle, he is going to face in the intermediate or at final level will be absolutely new. He would have never touched in his complete academic part. Yeah. So at that point in time, if at all you are casual and you take it lightly, and then I am a trophy person all along, I will be in a position to face this as well, like that when you approach it, there is a possibility of a sudden speed breaker or something like that, where my advice to students, and usually I always tell to the people is, the moment you clear your foundation or you are into CA professional course, your approach has to be very, very systematic, very, very strategized. You take a guide, you take a mentor, and then you prepare accordingly based on the coach directions. Certainly it will be possible. Otherwise, the problem is people may not be in a position to accept the failures. At times the failures make you a seasoned professional also. So it's not the question of you clear it in the first examination or in the second or not. The conceptual clarity that you have, the systematic approach that you are in a position to do, you will be in a position to excel in your life. See, excelling in life is more important rather than clearing a particular curriculum or something like that. So I feel that the students has to take it up very appropriately, and this being a professional course, their approach needs to be a little bit modified so that they are in a position to face the challenges, real-time challenges as it is.
And when it comes to your professional career, right, you have faced multiple challenges, but still you have continued to be, the go-to person and the trophy person that you are. What has been your mindset throughout?
My passion is to become a chartered accountant. See, I love this profession. I want to become a chartered accountant. So I know about this particular course only at a later point in time. Not like when I prepare in the school, 8th standard, 9th standard, I want to become a chartered accountant. It's not the case. I'm the first person from my family to become a chartered accountant. So there is no specific guide or a mentor or a direction or a Google map that is available to take me and land me here directly. It's not like that. So it's on self-learning. It's a self-searching that we need to explore, we need to learn, we need to make mistakes, we need to correct ourselves, and then to become the place where we want to. So I do with passion, as you are pointing it out. After the +2, where I thought that I need to complete a college education and then to become a chartered accountant. So a degree is must to become a chartered accountant was the thoughts at that point in time I had, but which is in fact not. But still I went to college, which shaped me as a person, as a student, from a school mindset and to a broader mindset. College is the place where I find myself. Okay, you need to be there. I'm a hostler. I stayed in a different place from my native. And then there were 200 hostel students, and the college environment was completely different. And then I was in a position to adopt. I am able to see new persons, unknown people, their character. I was in a position to take as it is, and which molded me to face the real world as it is. Coming from college, I enrolled myself for the CA directly into intermediate segment, and then articleship. All are phases in life, as you say. Specifically, if at all I want to talk about this articleship, which is considered to be the core in the CA syllabus or a curriculum. Normally, CA is a correspondence course where you take it up, but this particular articleship of 3 years then and 2 years now is the exact purpose of the CA course, where you are under a boss, where you are under a chartered accountant who is your principal, you enroll himself, and then you are in a position to train yourself with various aspects in accounting as well as audit and all taxation related aspects. That is the real place where you are coached. We learn life over there. So I enjoyed my articleship period, the 3 years. I always have that passion to do good things, get a good name from my principal, do something unique in my whatever little bit of assignment that is given to, like that. I took it as a challenge and as a passion that gave me a lot of learnings. specific learnings, and it's all, you cannot erase it from your lifetime. So it is there. That helped me to become a excellent chartered accountant, where in a position to deliver commitments and all. That was the greatest advantage for any CA student.
That's nice, sir. So you spoke about how your college shaped you in multiple characters, right? One such character you play today is where you teach a board of chartered accountants how to be a peer reviewer.
Very
right?
true. Very true.
And in that particular aspect, have you ever found a feeling that you feel like, oh, how can I do an audit of another chartered accountant itself? Because it's a very tricky situation to be in.
True.
Right?
True.
So what goes in your thought process at that point of time?
Super. It's a very brilliant question that you are asking. A peer review process where, as you say, that I train the peer reviewers as well, national level. So peer review is a beautiful concept that is world over. It is there to do a review of the peer. As the name denotes, another chartered accountant will come and review the work of another chartered accountant to ensure qualitative process. Institute mandated in a recommendatory manner. Now, predominantly many chartered accountants are getting covered. As you say, when as a peer reviewer, I am going to review another chartered accountant's work. It's not only tricky, it's very sensitive also.
Exactly.
Because the other firm with which I am going to do a peer review may be a very well-established firm with a lot of seniors and a lot of exposure and experience, where it is the approach that the peer reviewer has to have, the mindset with which he is going to do that particular review. There is the change. The peer review, as the institute says, it's always a hand-holding activity, not to find faults. That's the tagline. The moment I am there entering as a peer reviewer, not to find fault with the other practice unit. I'm not here to find fault, you have made this wrong, this decision is wrong, this is not there, that is not there. It's not the purpose. The purpose is to enhance the quality which is already there. So it will be a great learning process. As a peer reviewer, I go into that particular PU, there will be a lot of learning that will be coming into. I always feel this peer review process is an absolute learning experience rather than a review experience here. Parallelly, not only doing a peer review of the practice unit, training the peer reviewers is an activity that is given to me by the institute, which I always love to do it, because the moment we train the peer reviewers in the appropriate direction, they are going to execute that particular reviews in the field, and it's an absolute wonder that's happening. I always feel that it's a magic that you enable the reviewers, they in turn enable the PUs, that is practicing units, so that we always have that quality to enhance and then to demonstrate that particular quality. This peer review process is a boon technically for all the reviewers as well as...
Not everyone sees it as a boon, sir.
It's actually the approach. It's actually the mindset with which you are looking at that object. So when I look at something negative, something imposing on me, why some other person is come and reviewing me, what authority is having to come and question me, like that, when the approaches are in negative, then always it could be a negative part. But when the approach is in a positive, yes, I'm here, I'm doing something, where a reviewer who is there not to find fault, but to improvise my quality is going to come and suggest. Obviously, it's a matter of privilege where I need to correct myself and then go on.
That's nice, sir. It's very interesting. Apart, another character which you have also played is also being part of, like, coming up with the standards in multiple, whether it's auditing and accounting, you have been part of that.
True.
Right? How does it feel to come up with the standards and set the standard which multiple CAs across the globe will be meeting to that expectation? So what is the pressure that you feel while you came up with the standards?
Super. It's very interesting and very, very technical question that you have asked with regard to the standardization and standard setting process. Thanks to my senior, where I was a part of the Auditing and Assurance Standards Board of Institute for a period of 3 years, which is a standard setting regulatory board for the complete India. Where, as you say, that there is a global standards and there you have Indian standards. Technically, it's somewhat a little bit of technical area where whether we need to follow global standards, what's the necessity for us to go for global, and why we need to have our own standards and all. We have someone called as IFAC, which is an International Federation of Accountants, where ICAI India is also a founding partner of that IFAC. So whatever internationally the standards are being set, like accounting standards, like IFRS standards or standards on auditing, which is set by the international board. In India also, we are in a position to adopt it. The necessity for us to adopt is because of the growing cross-border transactions. Completely, entire globe is now a village, as our India says, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where everywhere cross-border transactions are possible. From India, I'm in a position to invest in certain other foreign country. From foreign countries, there are investments that are happening here. The language that I speak and the language that he speaks should be at the same parlance, so that both of us can understand, and then investments could be possible. It is absolutely technical and taxation perspective and accounting perspective. So in order to have the consistency as well as comparability and uniformity, we have the global standards which are also at par with Indian standards. We are galloping towards it. And our auditing and assurance standards, which is I'm a part of it, I was a part of the standard setting, were completely at par with international standards, except for certain 1 or 2 standards that where there may be having a carve-outs to suit the Indian scenario and to suit the Indian customization. Other than that, it will be absolutely same. In spite of following that, we also need to be practical rather than theoretical. The moment when we sit on the standards, lot of work that will be involved in it. It's actually research. It's again a tapas, where I'm using the word second time, similar to that of book that is to be given to a student to cater his requirement and to prepare himself. Standard setting is also a tapas to match various requirements, and then we do that. And then with a lot of collaboration, we consult with people, we consult with experts, domain knowledge, we give an exposure draft, and it's a pure process. It's absolutely a scientific process where a lot of checks and balances are there. And then this particular institute, under their authority, after a lot of deliberations, a lot of efforts, these particular standards will be coming into place.
So as a peer reviewer, what is one thing that you have found, without naming any souls or anything of that sort, where you were like astonished that this is happening in the practice?
Okay. It's again a tricky question where you know how to ask a tricky question and then to get out of things. Very, very appropriate. It's a feeling of a peer reviewer. How or what astonishing and what's the aspect of improvements that may be required in a practice unit. Irrespective of the large scale with which the practice unit is operating or a smaller scale with the limited resources they are operating, one common thing that we are as a reviewers or as a regulators they identify is with regard to the documentation from the auditor's perspective. There is a complete change in this aspect that what I am talking about. Say for example, a chartered accountant who is practicing for 40 long years, he may be completely aware about the nuances of the business, nuances of the regulators, nuances of the client also. He may be doing it appropriately. Very beautiful audit he would have discharged. At a later point in time, when there is a question on his quality of the audit or the procedures that he is in a position to perform, whether he is in a position to demonstrate the aspect of what he has done, the answer is may not be what the practically. He may be very right in his approach. He might have done all reasonable care and caution while doing the verification. But at a later point in time, when he was in a position to substantiate through documentation or the procedures that he has performed, he may not be in a position to the fullest satisfaction of the regulator or an investigating authority to provide the documents. That's the gap that we always address, we always identify to improvise, so that the documentation part, that there is a shift that's happening. Whether I need to do the audit appropriately or should I need to simply document that whatever that I need to do may be a question. It's not like either this or that is what the answer. You need to do the audit as well as you need to capture whatever that you have performed in the audit. It's like Earth. I always give this as an example. Earth is not only rotating on its own, it is also rotating the sun. So there is a dual activity that is done by Earth. So I am rotating sun. I will not rotate on my own like that Earth not telling. So I need to rotate myself, and also I need to rotate around the sun as well. The galaxy has to be completed. Similarly, the auditor should not only perform the audit in the way in which it is expected, also to document whatever that he has performed. So in a business parlance, they used to say conformance and performance. There are two aspects for a business. I need to perform exceedingly doing well, meeting the customer's expectation. Similarly, when it comes for the profession of chartered accountants and practicing unit, which is into assurance services. The moment I sign the balance sheet, that particular signature is valued like anything, and everybody relies on that particular financial statements. There are investments and economic decisions are happening based on the signatures that is made by chartered accountants. Understanding that particular responsibility, where I need to perform the audit procedures and also document whatever that I have performed by way of those audit procedures, is what exactly the gap that we are in a position to identify. You may not simply say that they are not doing it appropriately. No, that's not the case. They do it with utmost care. But at times it's not up to the standard, or it's not up to the expectation from the regulator. Someone like NAFRA, you can take National Financial Reporting Authority, which is doing a quality review. They do the quality review of the chartered accountants, how you have done with regard to listed entities and all, because there is a public money, it's a open-ended entities where public money is involved. So they want to do the review, how the audit was performed, and prove with the documentation. Many gaps that they are in a position to identify, which may be practically difficult, but where one cannot substantiate that I need not do it. So certainly there is a performance as well as conformance has to be done. That is the area where I feel, as a peer reviewer, I feel the practicing units has to process it, has to enhance it, and to improvise on the documentation part.
That's nice. So you mentioned NAFRA multiple times already, right?
Correct.
And we all know what your role in NAFRA has been.
Correct.
Can you tell our viewers about it?
Very nice. Where NAFRA is a regulator,
correct,
which is constituted under a Companies Act. Section 132 of the Companies Act, which is a new act. Under Companies Act 1956, there was no such regulator to go in for. But Companies Act 2013, when it came in, this new regulator got introduced to do the quality aspects of the professionals who are involved in doing the audits. Not only the quality perspective, but also they have the investigative powers as well. And fortunately or unfortunately, there are certain multiple mismanagement with certain companies, and then the companies fall down, and then NAFRA came into light, and then they were very vehemently doing the reviews of these particular firms who are coming under the fold of the NAFRA. With regard to the NAFRA perspective, they go based on the standard. Standard says this, have you done this or not? So they go with like a very textbook approach, or they want, this is a standard unit to necessarily comply. Practically, there could be possibilities of difficulties with regard to handling a client, with regard to the way in which audit is happening. It's not like a theoretical perspective or in a laboratory the audit is happening. It's audit is happening in the live place, live stream. There are a lot of
circumstances and all of it. So many things happen.
Absolutely. There are timelines, there are time constraints, there are possibilities with regard to the management not equipping to do this. Like that, there are multiple factors are there. In spite of it, there are audits that are being performed. But at times, the NAFRA's expectations may be very, very straightforward, absolutely as per the standard. A plus A is equal to 2A. I want only this. I don't want anything else like that. They go and they approach, which one cannot refute it. We cannot say you are wrong. Their approach is something on the expectation part, but a little bit of practicality also needs to be included into, they need to also have a touch, is what my personal thought. In my individual capacity, my thought is like that, because I may not be in a position to capture whatever I do in an audit, because audit is it's a sort of living. With regard to the NAFRA's perspective is, they want a absolute compliance of the standards as well as the quality perspective, which is, in India we are evolving because of the mindset also. When I talk about mindset, all along the globe, the auditors are always seen as a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Where you may be aware that auditor means immediately you'll be a watchdog, like that. There are quotations which have been done.
A lot of companies be like, oh, auditors come.
It's actually based on a very interesting case law. Kingston Cotton Mill case is a 100-year-old UK case law, where there was a beautiful judgment by their lord. Their lordships have concluded that auditor is just a watchdog. They are not bloodhounds. That means they are not an investigating authority. They are not detective agents. This is a mindset. This is a perspective that people need to understand. The moment auditor comes in and then he verifies, he certifies the financials, he does a magic. Everything, misstatements are gone, like that. It is not the case. The audit by perspective is having inherent limitations, and with which audit is being performed. There are certain mindset with regard to the even at top level of NAFRA that auditor no longer a watchdog. Okay. You need to have an extra effort to put in. You cannot say I'm not responsible for this detection of frauds. Okay. You need to do an extra mileage, and then you should be in a position to detect these frauds. There are multiple financial frauds that has happened, which has impacted the decisions also. So there is a mind shift. There is a change in their mindset that they want the auditors to detect these frauds also, which is to me it is not possible. That doesn't mean the auditor will not detect frauds.
Correct.
During my normal course of my verification, I may be in a position to detect frauds. That doesn't mean that the auditor will always detect frauds. So when a fraud is not detected, it is the failure of the auditor like that. One may not be in a position to immediately jump into conclusions, but there are a lot of process involved in it. So that particular mindset, they need to come out, so that they need to go with a practical approach, and the enhancements of the quality should also be made in the PO. So it's like a balance where their expectations are also to be normalized and more practical approach, and here the quality and documentation perspective also to be improvised, so that we will always have that particular balance in economic front.
That's nice, sir. So we have, like, you have played multiple characters. Again, I keep coming back to the same point.
Fine.
Right? That you've played multiple characters. Today, as of date, what is the major character that you are playing? In case something's like, which you want to reveal on this episode.
Okay. See, there are two parts. One is from the professional perspective, and the other one is in the personal perspective.
Yeah.
Personally, I want to go and pursue a lot of spiritual perspectives, and then there are a lot of things are there in my bookshelf that I need to. I'll just purchase those books. I will have some time. At that point in time, I will take and read. Is what the thought process with which those books are there. Personally, I need to pursue a lot.
Yeah.
From the professional perspective, I play two roles, or three roles. One is scattering my clients' requirements, completing with the timelines, their compliances and all to take care from the professional front as an auditor, as a person who is into chartered accountant in practice. The second role that I am into, the students' perspective, where we train students, we curate books, and then we publish books for their professional enhancements. And the third role, from the chartered accountant's perspective, like training the peer reviewers, improvising on the quality, contributing a little bit for the institute for their technical literatures. One particular perspective that I see here is the mapping between the technology and the knowledge of the chartered accountants.
That is somewhere which is like still there is like this bridge which has not been formed
Exactly, you are right. There is a gap. That particular bridge is to be happening here. Because the use of technology by a practicing chartered accountant to cater the various requirements is a little bit missing, in spite of the AI's raise, in spite of massive usage of technology in the audits. At the ground level, at the smaller tier 1, tier 2 cities, where they are not exposed to the tools that are available, or they have to be versed, or they need to be exposed with regard to the various technological tools which are to be developed further and then which are to be used here. So that's the gap that I would like to take a lead, and then I would like to help people to go and bridge that particular gap, so that what is expected from the regulator and what is actually happening here may be in a position to connect, and then we may be recognized for whatever contribution that we do.
Yes. You've already authored a book on ChatGPT in like the world of accounting and taxation and audit, right? Do you ever feel like an AI can replace what an auditor finds?
Superb. I was a part of the contributors team for that particular professional book on ChatGPT. Yes. Your question is very, very valid. Once, as even from the students' perspective, this question will be there. Should I need to become a chartered accountant? Can I be? Because AI is going to replace me? Or from the practicing professional chartered accountants, that the AIs are doing everything, and then whether it will replace
what is my input then?
Yeah, very true. Where I always feel AI as a companion rather than a competitor. It's like a horse. It will make you fastly reach that particular destination, provided you know how to ride that particular horse. AI is always a beautiful companion. I personally and strongly feel the chartered accountants community cannot be replaced by AI just like that. No.
Correct, yeah.
It's all a tool that is available to me to enhance and to give my professional acumen to the society, rather than AI by itself will replace it. The difference between a chartered accountant service and a doctor's service is, to my perspective, the service that is provided by the doctor is visible. I have a cough, I have a problem, he is giving me medicines, I am getting cured. It's absolutely visible, tangible. On the other hand, with regard to a chartered accountant's service, or whatever the contribution that he is making, may be intangible here, may not be directly visible. It's like the difference between water and air. Correct. Water you can touch, you can see, but air you cannot see it, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
Exactly the contributions that are made by the chartered accountants are to the society, to the economic development of the country. We are all economic warriors, where I have the privilege to say that. Where absolutely a chartered accountant's role in national building is inevitable. That's true. So having me placed in that particular very sensible and very important responsible position, I need to necessarily use the technology here to enhance and to do the service at pace or at fast, so that I may be in a position to do it appropriately, more comfortably, more qualitatively, rather than a regular traditional methods of audits. Nowadays, the data is something very voluminous. I cannot do my own traditional practice of doing vouching and seeing the physical verifications of that.
The green tick and all of it, which we would do. The green
may not be there. May not be there. It will be virtual ticks rather than a physical ticks that's going to happen. I need to embrace that particular change. There is something called as expectation gap.
Correct.
Which is even globally at IFAC level, they discuss about this expectation gap. What usually people think expectation gap is, what people want vis-a-vis what auditor delivers is equal to expectation gap.
Correct.
It's not so. Technically, there are multiple factors.
Okay.
There are knowledge gap, there are professional gap, there are information technology gap, like that multiple factors put together, it creates that particular expectation gap. And more importantly, the technological updates that are happening, the embracement of tools and techniques that are there, like I can mention the Zoho, which is a beautiful platform that is getting created and which is enabling a lot of reports generation at ease. So the moment I have some tools like for accounting you have, similarly there are tools for audit purposes that where we may use it or we may develop it. That's again a request from myself to various software providers and also those people who are involved in the AI research. The tools that are available for the auditors with regard to the audit tools are very, very less. If it is available, it is costlier, where a person may not be in a position to apply it. If it is available, it is not practical to the regular suiting the day-to-day circumstances. It may be somewhat on a theoretical lab-based. We don't want that. The moment there is something practice which is available to a regular day-to-day practice, which is like Zoho for accounting perspective. Similarly, Zoho, my appeal to Zoho is you come out with an auditor's tool, which may be in a position to seamlessly integrate the accounting as well as the audit, including the documentation perspective and standards compliance. That will be the boon for chartered accountants. So we may be in a position to embrace that particular technology, and then we may come out with whatever the requirements, because the human mind is having a supreme power. I always feel that the AIs may not replace the professional judgment that is required in an auditor's perspective. An audit technically involves two constant factors. Constant factors as an auditor I need to always have when I do an audit. One is professional skepticism, which is nothing but a questioning mind. It is not a suspicious mind. It's a questioning mind to validate.
I think very rarely people understand the difference between professional skepticism along with, like, the doubting mind.
The doubting mind, absolutely yes. I am not having a doubting mind. I am having a validity mind. So I am validating it and then I am accepting it. So it's a professional skepticism that I need to apply throughout the audit. The second and most important aspect is professional judgment of an auditor. The professional judgment is absolutely based on the experiences. It's absolutely based on the circumstances that are around. I cannot simply apply a formula. Anything more than 1 lakh is equal to material, you say it is wrong. No. It will be differing from entity to entity. It will be differing from circumstances to circumstances, where the auditor's knowledge will be completely helpful for this particular professional judgment, which is a very important pillar in auditing. I feel with the help of AI, I may enhance this particular professional judgment rather than to leave this entire aspect to AI, which may not be possible. Okay. I always fond of two specific Sanskrit subhashitam. It's like a proverb where what is the process of learning, how you are learning.
Correct.
What is the basis of your learning? The proverb divides that learning into 4 quarters. 25% I learn from my guru, from my mentors, from my seniors. So, acharyat padam adatte. 25% you learn. So, we feel that we are getting everything from our classroom teachers only. No, it is not. We are actually getting 25% only from them. Padam sishya swamedaya. Balance 25% I am getting through my own interpreting that particular learnings, whatever that I am having, my own research, my own analytics, my own understanding, conceptual, will add another 25%. So far I have learned only 50%. Padam sa brahmacharibhyaha. Balance 25% is based on the peers, how my fellow professional is doing, how my other student is doing, what the industry practice, whether can I be in a position to do that, what is the benchmark, whether can I meet that benchmark, what are all the enhancements that I need to do, like that I can learn. So I am learning only 75% out of all this, from the teacher, from my own inception or interception of that, and then 25% through the other peers, and balance 25% kala kramenacha. Only through experience, only through exposing myself to various scenarios and the cases, I will be having that balance 25% of learning. So, learning is not complete 100%. One say that I have learned 100% is actually a myth, where always the experience will add like that. So, similarly in a profession like a chartered accountant, the professional judgment, which is absolutely based on the experiences that we have. So that is the unique point that a chartered accountant always holds personal rather than the technical or the AI tool. So that will all help me to excel well. This particular experience alone will be in a position to prove my chartered accountant's touch into that.
So I'll probably wrap up this episode and ask you one final thought process where you think about this profession, and what is one thought process that you want students to keep in mind about it?
Okay, both from the professional perspective as well as from the student's perspective.
Because you represent both.
Yeah, you are right. You are absolutely right. Man, I always feel that it's a privilege to become a chartered accountant. I always feel it's very blessed to be a chartered accountant, where contributing to the society, contributing to the country, contributing to the globe for its economic activities. There is a huge scope available for practicing chartered accountants, where Institute always makes that to happen. We need not confine ourselves that this is that's maximum like that, where we have the moment we adopt, we assume that technology, we may be in a position to go, and sky is the limit, where we have a lot of opportunities that are available, including the practice perspective here. That's what that I feel. But the point that we need to note and we need to appreciate is the quality always matters. Where Institute, we always have the quality as a pillar for our profession. Independence and quality are the both eyes of a chartered accountant is concerned. There is a huge opportunity that is available. The approach has to be very right, where I need to adopt the changes, I need to enhance, and then I may be in a position to do a qualitative activity. From the student's perspective here, there is again a conceptual clarity that we need to have. Chartered accountants is a very good boarding pass that is available to you for exploring you to the sky. So it gives me a direct access to very important key positions in any company for that matter, or as a practicing chartered accountant here. So for the students, please go with the passion to take up the audit, especially for those who are doing articleship. See, when I was doing articleship, I always have a passion towards my firm. It's my firm, wherein I am learning. I need to explore myself to do the audits. It's not a job that I am doing. It's a learning plus, it's a practicing field that I am playing. I need to have that particular approach and do it. A little bit of that approach is missing in today's articleship students' perspective, because this articleship is a great boon for chartered accountancy students. Parallelly, it is a process without even knowing it. We would have prepared for our final examinations for that matter.
Yes.
So conceptual clarity along with the interest for it will make you to become a chartered accountant at ease. The moment you become a chartered accountant, sky is the limit. Institute's tagline is very clear, Ya Yeshu Supteshu Jagrati. A person who is awake while others are asleep. And I always used to say in my classes, Deepavali, I may not be in a position to celebrate because November examinations will be coming in.
Correct.
Again, Pongal also, I will not be in a position to celebrate because results will be coming in. So, Yeshu Supteshu Jagrati, while others are enjoying, I may be sitting at my books and then I will be preparing for the exams. Fine. But it's a very part and parcel. You are putting all your efforts so that we are in a position to enjoy the privilege that is given as a chartered accountant. That's a very important key take that students has to apply for it.
That's nice. Thank you so much for this episode, and I've enjoyed thoroughly in picking your brain in multiple aspects. I will probably go on to the next segment, which is called Debit or Credit.
Oh, debit or credit,
it's a fun segment where I give you 3 questions, and you have to just tell me whether it's debit or credit, and probably not give too much of an explanation.
Thank God that as per the rules of the institute, there is only debit and credit, so there is no other third option. It's not a multiple question. Yes, let us go.
So I'm going to use my phone for that. Please pardon me for that. Every senior CA should be made to learn ChatGPT.
Absolutely debit. The moment I say debit, it's an asset is what that I feel.
Correct.
See, the debits and credits can be used multiply. If it is a credit, it will be treated as an income.
Yeah.
Similarly, it's also a liability.
Correct.
I go in from the balance sheet perspective. Debit is an asset for me, credit is a liability for me.
Correct.
Here, the ChatGPT learning for every senior chartered accountant, absolutely yes. Not only ChatGPT, you mean ChatGPT is an AI tool that you are trying to say.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's a debit that I go with.
That's nice, sir. So, peer review makes more enemies than friends.
No, it actually makes more friends only. So it should be debit.
Okay.
Yeah.
A good auditor can be made from a textbook.
Absolutely, I differ from it. A textbook will give a basic understanding and concepts, but a good auditor is made only in the grounds. It's a credit.
That's nice. Tax season is the best season.
Tax season is the most complicated season, similar to the tax laws. I feel it's a credit.
Clients who text you on Sunday asking for a request.
That's a disaster. Actually, for every successful man, there is a woman behind it. Actually, it's not a successful man. It's just not a woman behind it. It's actually the sacrifices of the family behind it. Okay. Technically, Sundays are meant to be theoretically for the family, but again, as you say, there are multiple calls even at night 10 o'clock as well. So it's actually a credit.
That's nice, sir. So thank you so much for, we had a lovely time chatting with you and lovely time asking you and picking your brains on multiple, especially on the peer review, on NAFRA, everything. Thank you once again for agreeing to come on the show, sir.
Sure. It's my wonderful time. It's a pleasure for me to be participate in this beautiful event. It was very natural. Yeah. You have made me to answer on very important perspective as well. Let us do it.
Sure.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.